It's Friday, the last betting edge with the Prez of the week, and I'm Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk Media and one extremely excited man. I got Marco D'Angelo, my partner in crime, with us today, and mid-major Matt right out from the ESPN studios. We're going to take apart one college basketball game, one NBA game, one college football game, and the Dallas versus Detroit Lions game. I want to bring in my guests and start with the person who means the most to me. Hey, Lawrence, how was your week? Oh, it was good, man. No complaints. How did you do at poker? Oh, you killed it. Excellent. Good job, Lawrence. And now to the second most important person on this call. Hey, Prez, what's going on? Marco, I'm just playing around.
Never gets old, Prez. Never gets old.
You know who does get old?
Who?
Us.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Week late, yeah, but thank you, yeah.
Marco, we got a big promo. Before we get to Matt, ring in the new year. Tell everybody about it.
It's the best deal going at WagerTalk and Sports Memo right now. You can take your favorite capper, get all of his plays all the way through New Year's Day. Guys, there's football almost every day in November. When we get to December, from the middle of the month on, football every day, bowl games. You'll get it all. Football, basketball, everything we got to offer. Hockey, anything, soccer. $350 gets you through New Year's Day. What a way to close out 2019 and get 2020 off to a big start. Check it out at WagerTalk and Sports Memo.
Matt, what did you think? That sounded very salesy, like had nice tone to it.
Yeah, I would think that he's a car salesman in a previous life. That was very good.
But wait, there's more. We will also send you a Floby, Ginsu knives.
Love you, Prez.
Yeah, Marco, I miss you already, baby. So 325 or 350?
350, sir.
350, get everybody's plays until the end of 2019. Mid-major Matt, how are you, buddy? I miss you, man.
I've been doing good. Enjoying the college basketball, the college football. This is one of our best times of the year with all the sports going on at the same time.
Yeah, Matt, you've got a new show going over at with WagerTalk on our YouTube channel. Do you want to talk about it?
I actually am not on that show, unfortunately. Time constraints, so I'm not. But it's a good show. I've watched it several times already.
Prez is so up on his the company he runs. Eh?
I love that look on you. Had the deer caught in headlights look there, Matt. No, I'm not.
Guys, let's get into it. NFL right off the top. Dallas Cowboys minus 6.5 going into the Driscoll-led domed stadium in Detroit. Total is 47. Marco, given that you talk longer than anybody else on the planet, except maybe Rob Vino. If I did a show with you and Rob Vino, it would literally be an hour. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, without having Stafford in the lineup, for the Lions to have any shot, they've got to run the football in this game, and that's something they haven't been able to do this year. I don't want to see Driscoll throwing the football 46 times like he did last week. They only lost by 7 in Chicago, so you would think they might be able to hang around here, but I can't trust them. What I do trust is we've seen the adjustment in the line. I don't think we've seen the adjustment in the total, and I think there's still value on the under in this one. I'll look to the under if I get involved in this game at all. There's some better games on the NFL card for me on Sunday, but my look at this one right now would be the under. Detroit's got to come up and play big defensively.
Yeah, and I'm with you there, Marco. Look, I'm not going to get to the window on this game, and nor is it even going to make my television set, and I have 4. But yeah, I mean, you can only play the under in this game, and I think ultimately Detroit's defense is it's decent enough, and I think Dak, I think both teams are going to run the ball a ton. So I'm with you. I mean, the under is 47 and a half. That's the only way I can go in this game, but good for me. I'm not going to go that way either. I'm just outright passing. Mid-major Matt from sportsmemo.com. Any thoughts on this game?
I agree with the under. I think that this is, I think the Lions have to go ball control, throw short passes, keep Jeff Driscoll upright. The thing is, I'm surprised Marco didn't bring this up with the scheduling spot. 2 straight primetime games beforehand. They had the Monday nighter against the Giants, the Sunday nighter against the Vikings. They've got a huge game against the Patriots next week. I mean, I wonder if focus could be an issue if you wanted to convince yourself for a reason to bet on the Lions on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. There's like 25 million other games. Marco, the suspensions were handed down on the Pittsburgh Cleveland game last night. Myles Garrett's out for the season, out indefinitely. I mean, look, he's going to get reinstated at some point, but I watched that play live. So did both of you, I'm sure. And it was probably one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in sports in my entire life. I mean, I don't remember this happening, but I would equate it to a golfer taking his 3-iron and whacking his opponent across the head. I would equate it to Rafael Nadal jumping over the tennis court, taking his racket and hammering it over the head of his opponent. I think that might be the single most outrageously violent thing I've ever seen in sports in my sports life.
Yeah, it was an ugly scene, no question about it. I'm a little bit surprised that they gave Pouncey as big of a suspension.
He's going to appeal that.
They
It's going to go down.
3 games for running to the defense of his quarterback that just got smacked on the head with a helmet. I mean, come on. In Myles Garrett, if this was like the first time something happened with him, maybe you could see it, but I don't think it should be reduced. He's been, repeat offender, not to this degree, but he's had many issues with stupid penalties and dirty hits. And yesterday, he just absolutely lost it. Bad scene. And the bad part is, remember, Mason Rudolph just had a horrendous concussion less than a month ago. I mean, the hit he got, I thought he was dead whenever he got hit. I mean, he went limp before he hit the ground in that injury, and then he gets hit over the head with a helmet. Not a good situation.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, do you have any thoughts on this? I mean, it's mind-boggling. I mean, I really felt like there are places on the head, and I have helmets. I'm a memorabilia collector. I think what Myles Garrett did could have literally killed Rudolph.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Rudolph didn't get a game because, technically he did start it. He tried to rip off Garrett's helmet, and then there was a little kick to the area. I think it was the groin area on Garrett. Surprised he didn't get one game, but I do think that I saw some reports that say he's going to get fined. I think that'll be pretty good, especially if they, hit him in the pocket there. But yeah, it's one of the worst things. By the way, Ogunjobi also not getting talked about enough. The cheap shot he had on Rudolph when nobody was really looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit somebody from behind the quarterback. Yeah, that was, you're correct, Matt. That was about as dirty as it gets.
Guys, I went 2-1 last night. I'm on a 5-1 all sports run. I'm 41-23. My last 64 bets. Put up a promo yesterday. I said today is the last day of this promo, and it is. You get $100 off of a month of my plays. Use the promo code PREZ100. That's PREZ100. Guys, NBA 76ers on the road, -4 against Oklahoma City. A low total in this day and age of 214. I mean, especially when you look up to Washington and Minnesota and they're at 242. Holy mother of God. Anyway, Marco, what do you like in this NBA game?
Yeah, looking at this one, and this is a schedule situation for me. I've been going very cautiously so far this year in the basketball season, easing into everything. But you've got Philadelphia, where they just finished a 3-game and 4-night stretch. They played on the 10th, the 12th, and the 13th. Well, now they're also playing on the 12th, the 13th, and the 15th, the second back end of that 3 games and 4 nights. Traveling to play Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City has surprisingly played competitive early on. Now, the last week, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, both straight up and to the spread, but they've played a couple better teams, playing San Antonio and playing Milwaukee. And then in the last game, they got absolutely waxed against Indiana, 111-85. But if you look, they were playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. In the game before that, they had a huge effort at home against Milwaukee, one of the better teams in the East, if not the best team in the East. They were +9 and only lost by 2. So I'm going to throw out and excuse that Indiana debacle and say that they lost the Milwaukee game twice, the big effort, and come up short. I think you'll see a better effort out of OKC tonight, and I'll give them a shot, plus the points tonight as a home dog. Philly should have Embiid back tonight. That definitely helps their cause. And this team, they play better defense than Oklahoma City, but doesn't everybody pretty much in the NBA almost?
Well, clearly not
I'll still take a
Minnesota
shot
or
on the home dog.
Washington.
Yeah, clearly not.
Matt, what do you like in this game?
Well, I mean, as a Sixers fan, I've not been very thrilled with how they've looked as of late. And then I don't love the fact that Brett Brown came out after their last game and basically said, yeah, I'm chopping up the season into thirds, and we probably will get to where we're supposed to be in December. I don't like where they are right now. I don't like how the offense looks. Embiid at times looks disinterested, but he's still getting, a bunch of points. Ben Simmons still can't hit a jump shot. They're still trying to get Horford in there. Tobias Harris can't hit anything right now. And Josh Richardson's not 100%. I don't like a lot of what I see. By the way, they've also played 7 road games this year already. So, they've been on the road. They've only had 3 or 4 home games. I think, that this is a good spot for the Thunder. I also might take a shot in the over. I think it's lower because people think the Sixers defense is really good. If they're not as good, it's a low enough total that you could take advantage of it and still have it go over.
Johnny's texting, Marco. Hey. Never ends, my brother. Never ends. Guys, I've got a 5% play in hockey up tonight. I have no promo code for any of you guys, but what I'm going to do is provide a promo code during puck time. Puck time will be taped a little later today due to some personal issues, as in my child is off from school. There's way too many holidays, and I have to take her to get her nails done. Woohoo.
Oh, Prez.
Yeah. Marco, you became a granddaddy this past week. Congratulations.
I did. Thank you. Getting old, buddy. Getting old.
No, Marco. Matt's getting old. You're old.
Why am I getting old?
Yeah, you're getting old. Marco's old. UNLV on the road playing UCLA. UCLA -8, a total of 131.5 to 132. Matt, we'll go to you first. What do you like in this one?
Well, it's an interesting game because you still have 2 teams that are trying to figure out their new coaches. UCLA, played well in that they've played well and they've played poorly because I still think they're trying to figure out Mick Cronin's system. You look at some of the guys who are banged up. Sharif O'Neal was a late scratch last game. He's got a hip injury and is day-to-day. Prince Ali played but is dealing with an ankle ailment. The Riley kid had the flu and a fever earlier in the week, so there's still a lot to figure out there. Plus, I've never been convinced they have some sort of home court advantage at UCLA. And then you've got UNLV, who's lost 2 straight overtime games in which they could have won both games. They've played better. I like the Tillman kid. I think Otzelberger is setting up some nice things for UNLV. I might be interested in the Running Rebels in this one on the road because I'm just not that impressed with UCLA, and I don't think they've got Mick Cronin's system down yet.
Matt, it doesn't look like a lot of the money is agreeing with you. UCLA came out at -6.5 as a consensus opening line. It's now up to 8.5, so there's obviously smart money coming in. Marco, where do you go in this game?
Yeah, well, I saw the line move there, Prez. I'm not necessarily agreeing that that's smart money on UCLA because UCLA is one of those public teams. They get money all the time. Uh, I was leaning towards the UCLA side at 6.5 when that number came out, but because we lost some of the value there, really don't want to lay that extra bucket as Matt said, they are both teams are learning new systems. The UCLA one, I think, is a little more complicated with Cronin's system, and you've seen it on the offensive end. The first two games, they shot 39% in the first game against Long Beach State, and then against Cal Santa Barbara, they come back in 43%, played much better in the second game. I think this will be a spot where they continue to get better. I like the coaching hire of Cronin there. He did a fantastic job at his previous stop. But this UNLV team, they surprised so far. And I think there's a little bit of an excitement here in Vegas. We got the new coach. Everybody been waiting for the Running Rebels to be back to prominence, and it's not there yet. The first two games were good, but two gut-wrenching overtime losses, and now you got to go and play UCLA on the road. It's not a great spot for the Running Rebels. If I had to play it, I lean to UCLA in this game, but we lost a lot of value with the number up to 8.5 at this point.
Boys, last game on the board, college football, Tulane versus Temple, feature game. I think this game is on ESPN, ABC, and CBS all at the same time because, well, it's so important. No TV network wanted to miss out on it. Tulane minus 5.5 on the road. The total is 54.5. And yes, Matt, I'm making fun of this game. You chose it. With all that said, it makes no difference whether we want to watch this thing or we don't. Just give us a winner, baby.
Yeah, exactly. This AAC conference game is rather important for both of these teams because, Temple still has an outside shot in the Eastern Division. They've been a home underdog a bunch of times already this season. They took down Maryland as a home underdog. They took down Memphis as a home underdog. They were outclassed by UCF. And they also have semi-bye week. They played last Thursday, so they've had a couple of extra days to prepare. The Bokosi kid going down the offensive line isn't great because their offensive line has been pretty spectacular, but it looks like Ramon Davis is going to play in this one, and he's one of their stud running backs. Temple can go. They can play some ball control, and they can also open it up a little bit with Anthony Russo under center. Todd Centeio has been a pretty solid quarterback as well as like a change of pace type guy, and this defense is really good. They've had some stinkers. They didn't show up against UCF, but a lot of teams don't. They didn't show up against SMU on the road. A lot of teams don't show up against SMU on the road. Tulane has had the bye week. We have question marks as to who's going to run the ball for them because they have a bunch of injuries in their backfield. And then that means, is McMillan going to be good? And McMillan is a guy who's very inconsistent. He has his good games. He has his bad games. Look, I think Tulane's a fine football team, but we're getting value at Temple once again as a home underdog for like the fourth time this season. And I don't understand why they are as big of a dog as they are.
Marco, do you agree with Mr. Mid-Major Matthew?
Yeah, I'm not going to ever go against Temple here as a home underdog. They've shown that this has been a trade of theirs not only this year, but the last several years and going all the way back whenever Matt Rule was there. But this is a case of defense versus offense. Tulane's going to put points up. Everybody that's played them hasn't been able to stop them. The only team that did was Memphis. They held them to 17 points in that 47-17 blowout. But they put up 38 against Navy, 38 against Tulsa. Both teams became bowl eligible in their last game. So that's also something to consider when you're looking at motivational factors. So neither one has an edge there. Matt mentioned that Temple has a couple extra days because they played on Thursday last week. And that is very important because they're facing a team here in Tulane that runs a triple option. And whenever you get that quirky offense, that you don't see that often, having an extra day or two to prepare is a big help. Temple, they got to be able to slow it down because this is a team that's not scored points this year. They've only topped 27 points twice. first game of the season against Canisius, which doesn't even count, and then they put up 30 on Memphis in that 30-28 home victory. That's going to be the type of game they need to have tonight to come out of here alive against this Tulane offense. But I do like the home dog. That's the only way you can play this game. And I don't know what the weather is in Philly this time of the year, but that's definitely something you want to check out on Saturday morning playing there. You can get some off weather late November and December in the city of brotherly love.
He's Marco D'Angelo. I'm the Prez. You can find us both at WagerTalk.com. We are the co-founders of WagerTalk. Mid-major Matt joining us. You can find him at Sports Memo. Guys, make sure to use the promo code PREZ100. It's $100 off of a month of all my bets, and I'm frickin' rolling right now. I also want to ask our listeners out there, is there any appetite for a weekly fantasy show? I'm happy to do one, maybe tape every Wednesday. I just want to know if there's any appetite. I have some unbelievable fantasy experts in my life. We could put together a nice show, but I don't want to do the work if nobody wants to watch the show. And Marco and Matt, I would love to at some point, and I will likely at some point next week, just rant about the stupidity of NCAA period. Like how they vote on teams to make the playoffs. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine that in the NFL? Like, we're going to have a committee of old white people voting. You know, we vote Dallas, Philly, and New England and Baltimore into the finals. Like, there's so much wrong with college football. It is ridiculous. College basketball, a little bit better because at least they vote 64 teams. But yeah, I'm going to rant about that next week. Maybe I'll save it for Monday when I'm with you, Marco.
No problem, Prez.
Okay, boys, outstanding show. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Everybody, make sure to check out Puck Time today. It will be up at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I will have a promo for you for my 5% NHL play that goes tonight. And also check out the end of this new year. What is it called?
Bring in the New Year package. You get all plays through January 1st. So that includes the January 1st, the big day of bowl games.
Next year for Rosh Hashanah, and I think Matt will appreciate this. That's the Jewish New Year. We will have the very same promotion, but we'll double the price.
Oh, Prez.
Later, boys.
Have a good one.